Good morning, my YouTube friends. Tim with Outdoors for Adventure. Now, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing and click that bell so as we post videos, you'll be notified when the new videos are up. Now, I want to show you the solar setup in my Iceco 60 VL freezer refrigerator combo setup that I'm going to be using, and I've been testing. I've tried several different things, but I'm going to show you what's going to work for now. And now, before I start showing you everything, just know that I think I got some sun in here. Let's try this. But just know that where I have the control box and everything hooked up, right now I'm going directly to the battery. I do have an inline fuse in between the control box and the battery, but I plan on building a control panel with some switches where I can turn the juice off from the battery to the control box, or to in between the battery and my plugs that control my components. I haven't made that yet. Eventually I will, but right now we are hooked directly to the battery with an inline fuse between the battery and the control box. I can operate it this way, and it's safe to operate it, and it's going to get us into the forest where we can go ahead and camp. But let me show you what we've got so far. So you can see we've got our panels over here. This is our HQST 100 watt mono panel, and I've temporarily zip tied a little PVC legs on there. That's not going to stay that way, but it's working for now. It gets me a little bit of angle so I can get that sun. And then of course it goes over here to the truck and into the control panel, which I have mounted in this metal electric box. I had this laying around. It's actually was for something else, but I figured I'd go ahead and use it for this. I did have to cut a slot in the bottom so my wires could go up in there. It worked out great. It's just the right size. You can see we've got full sun on our panel. Pretty good sun anyway. And everything's 18.6 at the panel. A little bit going into the battery right now. 100% battery with 14.3 volts. I have nothing hooked up to here, so there's nothing coming out. We're at 79 amp hours, and this is a 100 amp hour battery, so that's been going up all day. Of course, nothing's coming out. The internal temperature of this is 29 degrees Celsius. That is my setting. It's on automatic to where it comes on when the sun's up and it goes off when the sun goes down. You can change that to, like, if it's a 14, it would be, well, I just lost it. If you go to 14, it'd be on for 14 hours. 10, it'd be 10 hours, so forth and so on. That's where that was. So I'm gonna leave it there. That's if you get errors, it'll pop up codes there. E0 is no error. And then we're back to the home page where you see the sun. It's getting light. The solar panel putting juice to the battery. Nothing coming out of the battery. It's on boost. It's full charge because we're not up to full amp hours yet. 12 volt system. It can also run 24 volt system, and it shows sealed battery over there. So that's the control box, and that's how I've got it set up there. And the panels run into here, and then the battery are these big cables here that run into the back of this black box. So let me show you what's in the black box. Now I got to remove this bar that I made. It keeps people out of this. It locks these chairs in, and you can't open this lid, which there's padlocks on both these boxes. but it just slides into the hole over there, and it goes far enough you can't pull it out. Then I've got a padlock over on this side that you have to take off. So let me remove that. This just pulls out. This fits pretty tight, so you gotta kind of give it a yank. And then I just pull it out. I'm doing this one hand, and normally I use two hands. Then I just rest it right there. Now, my tailgate locks, I've got it unlocked right now. And you can see I've got my barbecue grill, my propane tank. The propane tank is mounted to this propane bottle holder that's mounted in the truck. This thing is in there solid. And I keep it locked with the bicycle lock. I've got a regular switch that turns this light on and off, which is hooked to the battery. I put a cigarette plug in the box here, and that's where my freezer is plugged in. I have two more of these ordered, and I have two USB ports ordered. They will go in this box too, where I can just plug everything in from the back here. Let me move this grill. Okay, I just set that grill over here out of the way. And which, if we're setting up camp, I would undo this lock and flip it around. And if I wanted to leave it locked up, I could, and still set on tailgate. And I'd pull these chairs out, and you know, we'd be using them. But you can see we're at the temperature here on this freezer. It's been running great. Well, let me show you what's up in this box. You can see where I ran into the back of the box there, into the battery. Now this is a mess right now, but it's temporary and it's working. But I've got, that's the inline fuse that cuts, you know, in between the battery and the control panel. This big lead here goes to the control panel. This big lead here is the ground cable, and this is the ground cigarette lighter. And then I just have an old clamp in here that I've got my cigarette lighter and my light hooked up to. And you can see the cigarette lighter here. It's an old one I had laying around. Now this here connector, trailer hitch connector plug, that's actually, I'm using 2 wires off that. That goes down to my trailer hitch plug, and then goes to the battery. That's what charges this battery up here. And I said I'm only using 2 wires in that plug right now. And I said it's a mess, but I'll get it cleaned up once I get my panel board built with my switches and stuff. And then the only thing that'll be going to this battery will be these 2 heavy wires. This is my spare battery. Now let me tell you why I'm carrying that. I keep that charged. There's no solar going to it, and I'm not charging it with the truck, although I could if I wanted to. But it's fully charged, and I've got my inverter over here. So what happens, in my testing this happened. We had 2 days it was nothing but clouds. And this is when I first got the panel. I didn't have the box hooked up like it is now or anything. I just had it kind of temporary tied into the battery. And we had 2 cloudy days, and I was having issues getting enough solar to this battery to get it charged back up. After running the fridge overnight, you know, it pulled the battery down like 50%. And I needed to charge that battery back up. And it was slowly doing it, but I wanted to do it faster. So what I did is I hooked my inverter up to this battery, and I plugged my Iceco freezer into the inverter with the 110 plug, and I started running the refrigerator off of this battery, and that gave this battery full charge and with nothing coming off of it. So I charged it back up. Now because of those clouds, I decided that since I wanted more voltage, that I'd go ahead and order one more 100 watt panel. So I have another 100 watt panel coming that's just like this panel over here that I've already showed you. So I'll have 200 watts, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hinge them together with hinges where they'll fold like a book, and I'll make my own suitcase portable panels out of this where I can move it around. I'll put a handle on them and stuff, and they'll just unfold, and then I can set them up to have a couple legs, and I can set 2 of them up. So that should help me when we're dealing with shade in the forest and we can't get full sun, to where I shouldn't have to use this battery at all. Now, after that test, I hooked everything back up, and this is after I hooked this box up like this. But I hooked the freezer up, and I ran that freezer for 4 nights and 5 days on just the main battery and the one solar panel. Now, the battery overnight does get pulled down, but as long as you get sun, it brings it right back up. Now, when I started all this, I didn't start with a fresh battery. It was already down some. But now, as you can see, you know, it's starting to get its amp hours built back up. Let's see if I can get the amp hours. We're at 79 amp hours now. And when we first started, that was at 50 amp hours. But I was still able to run this freezer all night long, you know, without any sun, and it stayed at temperature, and the battery never got pulled down below 50%, which this shuts down. Once that battery hits 50%, this shuts down, so it don't take any more juice. But it never got to that point. So as long as you're getting sun with a single panel, there's no problem running this freezer. I didn't turn the truck on to charge it. I didn't hook up to the second battery this time. So I ran that 4 nights, 5 days with no issues. So I'm pretty happy. And now you think about adding another 100 watts to my system to help on those cloudy days and stuff. I don't think I'll ever need this other battery. One thing that you have to remember too is we have a power pack that we charge our cell phones and run other stuff with. Now I will run 2 low wattage lights when we're set up at camp at nighttime off of this once I get the plugs ordered in. But anyway, you know, I just wanted to show you what I'm doing right now and let y'all know, you know, if y'all interested in getting one of these big units, it does work. And now when that compressor kicks on, you can go, and this shows you your draw. Right here, it'll show you your draw when something's running. Let me see if I can kick this compressor on real quick. Let's just go in here in settings. Go to the freezer and let's crank that bad boy down more. Alright, it just kicked on. Compressor's running. Alright, see, now that's the compressor pulling amps off that battery. I hope y'all can see it. That's the compressor running. Right now, 4.96 amps. And it don't always pull that high. Sometimes it'll be 3 point something, or it'll be 1 point something. I have seen it up to 5 point something before. Do you see it moving around there? But it don't take long. Once it's the temperature, it doesn't take long. This compressor won't run forever, you know. So you're not always pulling that. Let's go back to what I had it on. I had it 18 degrees. And we'll leave it there. And you see here, that's 13.7 volts. I'll come back to this controller. That's back up to 14.3. It's a good sun. Still 100% battery. See, we're not pulling nothing off the battery right now. Right now, the solar panel is running that compressor. That'll go down to 18 degrees here in a little bit. But anyway, you know, this is my setup, and I'm pretty tickled with it. And hopefully, let me flip this around. I'll move back into the house because I'm about done with this video. But me and Asher are planning on hitting a camping trip pretty soon. If not this weekend, next weekend. We're going to see what happens. And if we go this weekend, I don't know that I have my second panel in yet, so we'll be using one panel. Which that'll be okay because we'll get some true test on that. My light's fading in and out, so I apologize for this being kind of skippy, and the birds are going crazy. But anyway, if we don't get the panel this week and we go camping this weekend, we'll be running one panel. By next weekend, I should have the other panel, so we'll be trying 2 panels. So y'all stick around. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell so you get notified when we post our next videos. And y'all have a great day.